The collapse of fast food explained. People, what up? What's good, man? It's your boy TwoCentz, y'all. We got another big back topic, another wide body topic. We hating on McDonald's once again. We hating on fast food once again, man. We got a video from Pat B Originals is gonna explain the downfall of your favorite, drive-through restaurant. How do y'all feel about this? That this is happening? Do y'all know that this is happening? I'm happy, bro. Put the burgers down, man. We gotta eat healthy, man. Let's get it.
Fast food is collapsing.
Double downgrade for McDonald's.
As U.S. same-store sales suffer their biggest drop in 5
Y'all hear that violin? And whenever y'all hear that, you know it's serious. The orchestra instruments in the back.
years.
We're really talking about a fast food market that's basically tanking right now.
From McDonald's to Jack in the Box, revenue at nearly every fast food chain is dropping fast. And it's not getting better anytime soon.
There's a lot of restaurants out there. So they're going to probably be break even or losing money.
That's Bob Shallow, a fast food expert who's operated many of the biggest brands. With the help of his insider knowledge, I'll take you through this collapse from start to finish and uncover the three driving forces behind it.
Three driving forces. What do y'all think? I feel like it got to be prices, food quality, and I don't know what the third one is. But it definitely got to be the prices are too high and the quality is definitely decreased. What y'all think that third one is? Let me know in the comments.
And then we'll see what's in store for the future of fast food.
And so you see that in a lot of restaurants or a lot of brands that may be struggling a little bit in their sales. It can get you into what I call death spiral.
Editing clean, man. Hold on, y'all. Did we like this? Oh, we did. Cool, man. Y'all go ahead, like this. Let's get back into it.
The starting lineups are on the floor, and here comes Michael Jordan.
We eat that pizza the wrong way.
Yo quiero taco, man.
The glory days of fast food are firmly behind us. Once busy restaurants are vacant, and turnaround campaigns are now the norm. Because regardless of the brand, the story from customers is the same. Prices are too high.
We have to talk about these McDonald's prices.
Tell me why it was $17 for 3 filet of fishes.
Y'all don't forget who you were. Y'all not supposed to be.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I remember we did we did a few food videos on this channel, right? But every time we look at something that has to do with McDonald's, bro, I just can't help but bring up how we used to have the dollar menu and now we just don't. Like it's crazy, bro. Everything we watched a video, man, how the wait times for your orders used to be like 30 seconds. Now you got to wait 10 minutes. Now you got to wait 20 minutes at a fast food restaurant. I might as well just go to a real restaurant then. Damn.
Expensive.
Fast food prices have gone up across the board, with McDonald's leading the charge.
Wow.
They've driven who is historically their biggest customer, the low-income consumer, to abandon the category. Chains are in panic mode over this. Even McDonald's CEO is commenting on this in the most recent earnings call.
Certainly, overall QSR traffic in the U.S. remained challenging as visits across the industry by low-income consumers once again declined by double digits versus the prior year period.
Now, you might be thinking that these big companies got greedy
right,
and are just getting what they deserve until they lower prices again. But that's not really the case. There's a lot more going on here, and it starts with this chart. Over 95% of fast food locations are owned by franchisees, not the corporation that sits above them. And it's the franchisees who control their own pricing. So if price hikes are the reason fast food is losing customers, the question becomes, why did franchisees across the country start raising prices like never before? That is exactly what I asked Bob. Listen to what he says, and I'll break it down after.
We have the same inflationary pressures that the entire industry is right now. And so previously, there was a lot of pressures on, especially in California, on labor. Labor costs continue to increase every year.
And you know what? And I hate to cut off the expert, right? But, it's interesting that they bring up operating costs. When we have things like what do you call the self-checkout for restaurants? The kiosk, basically where you order it yourself. You know, I feel like there's a lot less workers in restaurants nowadays because I just go to the machine and then somebody gonna bring me my stuff out. Sure, I can still go up to the front and say, let me get this, that, and the third. But, you know, I just find that interesting. And I mean, I'm gonna trust him because obviously he the expert. He done worked for all the organizations. But like, how is it rising labor costs if everything is being automated? You know what I'm saying?
But for several years, we kept the line on commodities and COGS, but unfortunately, in the last couple of years, the inflation hit food as well. So you always had the inflationary of labor that you basically, thank goodness, COGS wasn't going up as fast, and then unfortunately, in the last year plus, COGS started matching what labor was doing for several years. So you got double hit.
Bob is talking about two of the biggest costs to running a restaurant.
Workers
Labor
and food, right.
food. And both have exploded in the last 5 years. Starting during COVID.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand the food, right? Obviously, you go to the grocery store, you can't even, they trying to finesse you out of more than $1 for Arizona. You can still find Arizonas for $1, especially, you know what I'm saying, in the hood. But they charge you $150 for the Arizona, man. That's 50% increase. But yeah, man, I understand the food price increase, but like the labor, y'all not even hiring, bro.
Franchisees had to pay more to keep their frontline workers. And since then, wages have only gone higher. Now, beef and chicken costs are also rising just as fast for a variety of reasons. This double hit is brutal. Labor and food inflation are outpacing general inflation by 2 to 3 times. Now, to understand the pressure this really puts on a fast food owner, listen to Michael Horowitz, a Harvard MBA who owned 20 Wingstops, explain how it impacted his business.
And so literally over 5 years, I think our cheapest food cost a month was around 32% of sales, and our most expensive was probably 43, 44. So that's the entire profit margin of most restaurants in that gap.
So as you heard, the average fast food margin is just 10%. A 10% jump in food costs can then erase 100% of profits.
Right.
So between food costs and the rising wages, it's no wonder menu prices have skyrocketed. When you add general inflation to the rest of the costs, franchisees have had to increase prices by at least 33% since 2020 just to keep that same 10% profit margin. But that doesn't include debt payments, required remodels that are expensive, and the rising impact of delivery fees from third parties that I want to talk about in an entirely separate video. But here's the thing.
We definitely gonna check that out, man. I always wondered, right? Like how do these DoorDash, these Uber Eats, like, you know, how does that affect the you know, like how much money a restaurant brings in, right? Because you gotta pay Uber, you gotta pay the delivery driver a cut. You know, so it's probably a lot eating into a lot of what would be the profits. But yeah, man, like I said, you know, I understand, man, like rising costs. If the fast food is outpacing wage inflation, then I can't afford the fast food anymore. So I'm not going to buy it. So you're not going to make as much money, and you're spending more money to buy the fast food to sell to me, but I'm still not going to buy it because I can't afford it. Right. And the few workers that you do hire, even though, like I said, a lot of stuff is getting automated. We got AI, you know, robot restaurants. The few human, it's human workers still, y'all. The human workers that you are hiring, you got to pay them more, and ain't nobody coming in. So yeah, man, I understand.
A tough environment isn't a total get out of jail free card, because an overpricing has definitely happened at times. The infamous $18 Big Mac at a Connecticut McDonald's is a great example. But the public outrage to these prices isn't the worst part for the fast food owners. It's the domino effect that has been set in motion because of it. And it's accelerating the collapse, because now customers are asking themselves the question, what is fast food actually worth?
It's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
Fast food was built on being cheap, but now that it isn't, customers are starting to rethink the value they're actually getting.
And I don't know, and obviously he's gonna explain, but y'all, this is a reaction, man. We cut in, man. We give our 2 cents. That's the name of the channel, bro. But what I was saying was, like, you know, I don't know if people are more aware of nutrition and like, you know, people understand what iron and vitamin D and all this stuff is, but like, I feel like, you know, a lot of people at least understand that, you know, it's a lot of fats and, you know, carbs and empty calories in these McDonald's sandwiches. I might as well just give me something from the grocery store for the same price, and at least I can get, you know, this vitamin A or whatever vitamin or mineral or, you know, thing that'll actually be beneficial for you to consume, right? Rather than just getting this little sandwich with this fake mystery meat and glue cheese, right?
It's an important distinction. Plenty of restaurants can charge $18 for a burger, but only if the experience justifies it. And in recent years, the fast food experience has only gotten worse.
Oh, he's not even talking about the actual, you know, people being like, I guess nutritionally aware is what I want to call it. But yeah, man, we don't got the play place in the McDonald's no more, bro. We don't got the cool the fancy decorations, like the little gaming systems on the side. We like every McDonald's just looks pretty basic. And we learned a few videos back was because, like, I think it was like a real estate or a warehouse agency owns the building, so it's kind of harder to sell, you know, something with the play place in there when they're ready to close down the McDonald's versus like just selling like a basic looking building, right? So, but yeah, man, it's not fun to go to McDonald's no more, bro.
And it turns out the rising labor and food costs are actually a big reason why.
We are QSR, after all. We're supposed to be quick serve. But if you go to a restaurant, all of a sudden you order one of the premium items, and now you're sitting at the drive-through window for 6 or 7 minutes. It means they either don't have enough labor in there, they pulled that lever, or they didn't have the product up and they're now frying it to order, then assembling it and getting to you. Your food might taste great, but it's definitely not the way the model was designed to operate.
What Bob is saying is that as a response to these rising costs to their business, the franchisees are starting to cut corners. They're running with fewer staff on every shift. The employees that do come in are now overworked. They're not prepping that expensive chicken sandwich because they don't want to have to throw it out later in case customers don't order it. And that result is impacting every facet of the experience. The prices were already up, but now the experience is slower and the employees are visibly unhappy to even be there. And because of this, the final domino is starting to fall, or as Bob calls it, the death spiral.
So if you're waiting in the drive-thru for 12 minutes, you know, you're at the window and they haven't pulled you forward, or you're a lot of times they're cooking to order to reduce their waste. And so you see that in a lot of restaurants or a lot of brands that may be struggling a little bit in their sales. Some organizations will start minimizing how much they have up and ready. And it can get you into what I call a death spiral. It's like your times go up. You're not as able to push as many cars through during your peak periods. It all works together.
The interconnectedness of a fast food restaurant is now working against most of these franchisees. And this death spiral will put a lot of them out of business in the coming years. And it's actually already happening. Fast food owners, both the big ones and small, are going bankrupt at a record pace. Increased prices with worse service is a recipe for disaster. Only the strongest operators and brands are going to survive. So I don't expect a brand like McDonald's to disappear. They've already been on a full-scale blitz of value deals to try and win back customers and their reputation for being affordable. I also think regional brands that have a strong customer loyalty and better economics to actually weather this storm pretty well. But there's a handful of legacy brands whose reputation and economics have been stagnant or declining for years. These are the ones with no wiggle room on their existing profit margins. And it's them who are at most risk of this death spiral. For this to change, fast food as a whole has to find a way to get their value equation back on track. For some brands, it might not happen fast enough, because today, the customer has clearly spoken. The current experience is simply not worth the price. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe.
Man, shout outs to Pat B Originals, man. We definitely gotta subscribe and tap in with the Uber Eats or the DoorDash video that he's gonna do, man. But this is a great video right here, bro. I wish he kind of dived into, like, you know, the appearance of the buildings is why, like, it's not exciting to go there anymore, or, you know, kind of talked about like the quality of the food, because a lot of people feel like, and I don't know how true this is, but, like, you know, they feel like the quality of the meat, pause, or whatever, like the food is just not what it used to be. All that said, man, shout out to Pat B. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, it's your boy 2Centz. Say it with me, TCZ. We out.